Today we're going to be talking about how to actually complete the Islamic Winter Arc. You've seen all these TikToks and YouTube videos about the Winter Arc. You got so hyped, you said this is it. Whether this year or last year, you said, I'm finally going to lock in, and you imagined yourself praying more, you're grinding harder, you're becoming disciplined in the deen and dunya. You're finally achieving what you said you could achieve. But after 1 or 2 days, reality hits. You slip back watching corn, listening to music, doing these sinful habits. You waste time scrolling again. You procrastinate your work and your ibadah. For some reason, your nafs made up a reason why you can't go to the masjid again. And the cycle repeats. But the truth is, transforming yourself this winter isn't impossible. This dream that you want to create in your life and the dream of you that you want to be is possible. But the problem is that you've been fed motivation without a framework, and nobody explains what the winter arc really is. I mean, why it matters for Muslims, and how to actually turn all that hype, all that, excitement into a daily system that actually makes progress in your life. And that's exactly why in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the secrets of the Islamic Winter Arc, what it really means, why it's so powerful, and the exact step-by-step processes you can follow in the next 90 days so you can grow massively in both your deen and your dunya. So let's get straight into it. But if you don't know me, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sultan, and I am a 19-year-old South African revert. I have been a revert to Islam for 2 years, alhamdulillah, and I've been on self-development for almost 5 years of my life. And for the past year and a half, I've been making content like this for young Muslim men to help them grow in their deen and dunya, to be on that journey of Islamic self-development, so we can actually become real men again. And alhamdulillah, by Allah's grace, we have helped over 350,000 brothers with these videos who have watched it, and we want to do the same for you. Let's get into it. But just before we get into it, this isn't an entertainment video. I want you to go and get a notebook and a pen. The ones who get a notebook and a pen, you're serious about this stuff, because this is going to be serious education. So I want you to take charge of your own education, pay attention, and put this in your life so you don't let it just be hype. What's the real benefit of a winter arc, right? Like, we've seen all these inspirational TikToks and YouTube guides, and it's super cool. It talks about how you're gonna lock in, and they're gonna give you basic advice, like wake up early, stop fapping. It's like basic stuff. It has no real substance, And the reality is that I know this stuff gets views, bro. And so does everyone else. And so they just say a bunch of random things about being disciplined, post it, and get views, because we know that the title Winter Arc is going to just do better in winter, right? But it doesn't actually change people's lives. It's just vanity content to inspire, but it doesn't change like the Winter Arc should. That's because no one goes deeper in this concept. We don't try and understand what the benefit of the Winter Arc actually is, or what it should look like for us in practical reality, not just imagination of being locked in. Like, what should my everyday be specifically? And we understand this subconsciously but not consciously, that this winter arc is supposed to be our Rocky training sequence, but in real life. Now, I don't advocate movies. I try my best to stay away from them, but we all know Rocky, right? We know Rocky. We know how he works, that he has this like training montage, and in movies and superhero movies, whatever, there's this moment where he does all this work, and then the hero becomes stronger. We know that what we desire to do with our lives in deen and dunya, and to be successful in it, requires an isolation period where you're just focusing and working hard. And it requires the hero, like in Rocky, to go to a different location, to go away from the noise, just focus and train for that fight without distraction. For example, in Rocky 4, he goes to the mountains and he just trains in the mountains. For us, maybe we don't go to a different place, but it requires for us to get all this noise and all this distraction and all of that stuff that's taken away from our success in deen and akhirah, right? And dunya as well. And focusing only on what matters. So we can finally change into the man who gets that success in the deen and dunya. We can do that hero's arc transformation, right? That's what the winter arc is supposed to be. Literally, your movie happening. That is actually a lot of benefit in us if we actually look at it that way, right? Because if we understand this consciously and apply it as our mental frame for the next 30 months, like, this is the time in my story in dunya where I get serious, where I make this huge change in this small time. Now, of course, the difference is that in a movie, it takes 10 seconds. For us, it takes months, years. But when you look at this frame of time and you say, okay, in this time, I have to complete X, Y, Z, it's actually very beneficial so that you can actually lock in with a different mindset, right? And so the reality of the situation is that from October to December, people already mentally check out, especially kuffar, because they have Christmas and all these things. They already checked out. They're gone, right? They just got to finish exams, and then, it's December. I can forget about my life now. That's what happens. And so they give up and they wait for 2026 to come so that they can have this hero's journey again. I'm going to start the underdog and we're going to get at the end of 26. I'm going to be great. That hero's journey. But bi'idhnillah, if we do the winter arc right, we could enter 2026 bi'idhnillah as that hero already. It sounds easy, right? Yeah, just lock in and stop doing bad things for 90 days straight. Okay. Let's look at it in reality, not in this dream hyper motivational state. What does that mean? It means no more bad habits, 0 minutes scrolling on social media, zero bad food, zero wasting time. It means no more sins, no more haram habits. And if you're struggling with haram habits and you still keep watching porn, you still keep listening to music, you still keep talking to any haram relationship and stuff like that, that's like the number one problem with Islamic self-development. And if you want to do a winter arc without this, you're going to have a problem. So if you want to fix this problem, I have a ebook that I wrote for you that's going to teach you the exact practical and strategic way to start fighting against these sinful habits so that you know how to get rid of them. As you can check that out, you can invest in yourself and you can learn how to fight this forever. You'll have that knowledge of how. And so, literally, get rid of it. You got the ebook. You learn how to do it. You're not doing the sins anymore. It means working every day. No one day off. No. When I say the real winter arc, it means no days off. It means no days off for ibadah. That you try your best to go 5 times a day to the masjid. If you can 3, if you can 2, you gotta do all this ibadah. You gotta fast as much as possible. We're talking about locking in actually. Now you see that it's actually pretty difficult when we stop being very motivational, but we do it in real life. But the reality is that if we did this, it'd be huge for us. Right? Now, I'm not saying we're all going to be perfect and we're never going to take a day off because that's unrealistic. Life happens. But we should aim and intend to take no days off. We should aim to use this time to get rid of everything present day dopamine. Forget present day dopamine exists. And literally use your life to just make it productive for the future of your dunya and your akhirah. That's literally it. That's life. Every day you wake up, that's all you think about. Now that we understand where the benefit can derive by framing this time as like, this is the moment I'm actually going to do what the winter arc is. It's going to be my time and my story of dunya where I truly get rid of everything. I got rid of these haram habits that I keep watching porn and stuff. And again, if you need help, I got you. I got rid of this stuff. I got rid of the bad habits. I didn't waste my time. I locked in every day. And then I made this huge transformation. That training montage. There's benefit with this short period of extreme action to make that change. So let's get into the most important mindset that is about to go on in your mind. And it happened to me as well. And that is, what if? Yes, now you see that it's difficult when we stop dreaming and we start getting inspiration from these creators who don't actually care about making you change. They just want you to be inspired and I'm gonna make a change, but like, whoa, no days off, no sins, no bad habits, no bad food, working every day. It's kind of hard, but let's not let shaitan do what he's doing to you right now, because even I had this. Oh no, but I can't take a day off. But I can't literally take off social media forever. But I can't quit watching porn because I've watched porn my whole life. I can't quit. I can't wish looking at girls on TikTok and Instagram. I can't, bro. I need to finish this game. I need to go to this place. I need to go with my friend. I can't do it. I can't be able to. I'm not saying you won't be able to do these things. But all the things Shaitan is saying that you have to do, you have to watch this TV series, you have to finish this game, you have to go to this place, these are excuses. It's failure. When you start viewing it as a failure in the winter arc, then it's different. Stop getting out of the winter arc because you're afraid to fail. Just view it as failure. Even I view it as failure for myself. We failed. That's just the way it is. But don't be afraid of the winter arc and actually doing it, like actually locking in. Just because, what if I fail? And what? No, but I have to do this, right? Rocky, like I said, Rocky doesn't go to the mountain to train in his hero's journey and then he eats McDonald's and he's like, wait a minute, I gotta watch some porn. Adrian, wait for me. He doesn't do that, right? Like I said, when you're in this point of your life, it's brutal. It's hard. That's the point. It's supposed to be an extreme action. It's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be this way, right? That's the point. That's why it's so effective. But instead of letting shaitan and your nafs say, oh, I'm not going to do it. Oh, I'm going to make an exception. Oh, I'm going to change this. I'm actually not going to follow Sultan's protocol. Don't let him say that to you. Don't let your nafs and shaitan destroy your ability to be successful in dunya and akhirah. Ask yourself a different question. What if? We're so used to saying, what if we fail, or we can't do this, or what if we relapse? And by the way, if you have a porn addiction, there's also my Annihilate Porn course in the description. I really just want anyone who's suffering with this, please get rid of it, because wallahi, it's such a disease in the world. So I made something to help you out. If you guys are interested, check the link in the description. But if you don't got the money for that, you can also get the ebook because it's super cheap. You still learn how to get rid of it, but it's not as transformational. That's what I can do to help you guys if you guys still have that problem, because wallahi, this almost destroyed watching porn and girls like this. May Allah Azza wa Jal make it easy for us. What if you relapse, and what if I make a mistake, and what if I can't get rid of it? We're so cynical, right? Because of waswas, and because biologically we have a negativity bias, right? But we don't ask, what if we did this winter arc properly? What if we actually didn't waste time? What if I did go all in all day? What if my life had no video games and no TV and no wasting time and no weekends and no social media? What would it be like? What would I do? What if I actually went to the masjid X times a day? What if I would bulk up? What would I do? Would I read 12 books a month? 12 books in 3 months? Because all this time is gone. What would I do? Would I work more? What would I achieve? What would I want to achieve? What could I look like in 3 months if I actually did it? What if I could do it? What if I achieve all the goals I wanted this year just by doing 3 months of brutal work? What if I succeed? What if I win? That gives us a chance to see our future self. Now we're seeing our successful outcome instead of a horrible outcome. And we realize that it's not as impossible as we thought. What if we got rid of all the porn addiction? Perhaps we would be better. What if we really didn't touch our social media for 3 months? We'd probably have more time. How could we do that? You start asking yourself, you start entering this scenario, and now you're actually in the game. Shaitan and the nafs, they already disqualify you. Don't disqualify yourself. Think, how can I do this? What if I could do it? Now you feel excited, don't you? Because now you can imagine the successful outcome. And now you want that outcome. And maybe you're willing to do the pain to get there, right? And I'm not going to lie, most of you, maybe even me, will fail. Life happens. Like yesterday, I wasted a little bit of time. Although it's not October 1st, so it's fine. Look at me cope. Whatever. Life happens. We fail, okay? But what if we viewed our winter arc like this? What if we truly strove to live our lives literally wasting no time and make failure not to cope like I just did? No coping. I failed. Boom. Let's start again. And we make success at productivity and success real, an action, not a dream. That we put this work actually. And what if we actually took this opportunity to make this change, to make this hero's journey? Because I want to be honest, some of your brothers in Islam, they're watching this video, they're going to make the change, but you're not, bro. So you got to ask yourself, am I going to be one of those people? You know, this is what I'm going to look forward to, right? This is what we're going to work towards. So don't fail before you try, because that's how shaitan makes us lose. That, oh, I'm going to lose. And don't think about that. What if we could win? Think like that. Perhaps we could actually do this winter arc the way it's supposed to be to get what we want to get. But it's difficult. Duh. We might fail. Duh. But that doesn't matter. Failure is failure. Winning is winning. So let's just do that. I'd rather fail 10 times and win 100. Let's say out of 90 days, you fail 10 days. Right? I'd rather have 80 days productively doing the winter arc properly and failing 10 days, even if it's full days, than doing nothing. Right? And so point number 3 is, how do we implement this in our lives? Let's get it. So we've talked about why we should do this, which is a frame to understand time, a frame to see time elapsing so that we can make this change. So what are we supposed to be doing in this time that's going to make us change in our hero journey? We're supposed to get rid of the distraction and for 90 days and just focus on the signal, focus on the real things that need to change our deen and dunya. And what are the issues that are going to get us away from this? That we try and stop ourselves before we even start. We fail before we even fail. So we shouldn't do that. So now we've gotten rid of that. We can win. What if we do it? And now let's get to the how. Practically, what are we going to do? I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life, right? Because everyone's life's different. How they're going to have the schedule is different. But you already know what you need to do to get what you need to get, right? You know. It's not like I have to explain to you how you want to make money or how you want to get jacked or how you want to go to the masjid or how much Quran you want to read. You have your own goals. You have your own things. But I am going to give you 4 principles that are going to structure these actions to get the highest return on investment of your time in this winter arc. So the first principle of the winter arc that you can use in your life to get rid of the noise and get close to the signal, right? With signal meaning focus, is work or worship. That's a principle. Remember the question we asked. What if I could only do productive things every day? Now we're going to apply in reality. You got to think about your entire day from the beginning to the end should not have even one wasted time that is not work in dunya or worship for akhirah. Think about that. How could that look like? Really, practically. And work in dunya means work that you need to succeed in the dunya. For example, doing work for your job or part-time job, studying in uni, studying for school, things like doing deep work for your business if you have one, or deep work for your online job, things like training, things like reading books on your craft and then just reading books in general, things like watching educational podcasts and educational videos like these, things like eating healthy food. These are work for dunya. Anything that is these things, I do it. And then worship for akhirah stands for anything that's ibadah to Allah. Even being with family is ibadah to Allah. But things like salah, things like nafil salah, things like salah in the masjid, things like memorizing Quran, things like reciting Quran, things like seeking knowledge, things like dua and dhikr. When you fill your time, it's only worship or work. That's it. You have nothing else to do with your life. You forgot everything. When you subtract your life into two categories that you can do, you automatically cut the noise. I don't have to tell you what not to do. I have to tell you what to do. That's it. Just do this. Anything that's not this is a problem. So anytime you're not say, oh, I want to go social media, ask yourself, is this work or worship? If it's not either, gone. My principle is I only do work, I only do worship in this winter arc. Sorry. Every day. Again, you might have days where on the weekend someone like family asks you to be with them. Look, try your best to not waste time. Try your best to in those days that are not normal, to not fall back to where you're supposed to be. But also try your best to not do that if you can, right? Go crazy in this time. And so it's less about what not to do and restricting yourself what to do, which is to work for dunya and worship for akhirah. That's all you do every day. You forget about you. Anything that is about you right now, current self, is not useful. It's invalid in this winter arc. There's not a principle that I need to work towards. The second principle is intentionality. We know what we need to fill our time with. We just spoke about work or worship. So now we need a system to apply this stuff effectively and not let our nafs easily be swayed to change our course of action. And this is done through a schedule. So I recommend a whiteboard. You can see mine, right? That you put up very visibly in your room so that you're very easily triggered to do it. And the type of schedule we're going to make is actually very different. I call it the intentional schedule. And what you're going to do is you're going to write down the moment you wake up, like eyes open, what you're going to do to a nerdy level, like the exact thing you're going to work on and exactly what you're going to worship. So for example, let's say one of the things that you could put is when you're saying reading Quran, don't just say read Quran, say read Quran from this surah to that surah or this verse to that verse. Instead of seeking knowledge, don't just say seeking knowledge this video. Therefore your nafs are less likely to waste time because wasting time comes from ambiguity. When we are so intentional and so specific, we have no time to try and think about what's going on. We just do. We're just a machine. Do, move on. That's it. Right? And so that's what we need. We write down everything we need that is work or worship in the day. And I'm going to apply it even more myself. I started doing it now that I did the script, right? Where I went even more nerdy with what I'm doing. For example, I used to have work. Now it says record 2. Now I know exactly what I need to do. I can't lie to myself and say, oh, I need to check YouTube because I'm working. No, record 2. That's what needs to be done in my time, right? And so this is the way that we apply a to-do list that is very specific and a schedule to get the order and the time to get the best of both. And the best you can do to add intentionality is to add a habit tracker, right? If you want, we do have a habit tracker list in our Masculine Muslim network where we keep each other accountable. So if you are one of those Muslim men who are actually ready to get success in dunya, get success in akhirah, and you want to be a part of a network of brothers who are doing the same thing as you, then you could join the Masculine Muslim Network, link in the description. I only want serious brothers in there, so only the serious brothers are going to get in there and actually commit. We already have a brother there. He's mine. What a G, bro. I'm so excited to talk to him today, inshallah. So if you want to join, actually have this action, have brothers alongside you that are helping you. You can also help with intentionality in your winter arc by joining the Masculine Muslim Network. Have a habit tracker like we have in the community. I also use it in my book. It's not in the community, the network. I use it in my little book. I have a little journal over there. You see the little journal? And I kind of just tick off like what I want. What you can do for the habit tracker is you can write down your entire day and tick it off. Or you can have 5 very important things to do that you took off. I think I'm going to move to the writing a schedule every day thing again, because I've been doing the habit tracker ticky thing and the XE thing for the 5 most important things. And I'm actually going to switch to become even more technically enhanced in the way that I track every habit, right? Which is good. You just put an extra habit tracker, you tick it what you did, you cross what you failed. This way you not only see your progress long term, like through reading the book, but you are living in as intentionally as possible. You do not waste any time and you get everything done, right? Principle number 3 is make things invisible and make things difficult. This is from Atomic Habits, and it's how to make bad habits impossible by doing a lot of friction, and it will assist you in not wasting time. So make bad habits invisible to you. Don't trigger it. For example, deleting your social media apps is something to make it invisible. Getting rid of all your junk food from your pantry, right? Because even for me, let's say for example, I'll tell you the truth about me. My grandmother bought me these frozen chips And because she bought me the chips, I eat the chip. When the chips are not there, I don't eat them in the weekday. Now I have to spend additional willpower to not fry the chips so that I don't eat it in the weekday. That could have been avoided if I just say, don't buy it from me. I don't have to try. You make it invisible. It's not even triggered, right? And so you could do things like constant focus mode. So what I do is, like, throughout my workday, I have a focus mode so no one can reach me, right? Like, only the most high priority people can reach me with notifications. Try your best to have as little notifications as possible. Try let only your mom, your dad, your like people who you live with have your notifications on, because they have to contact you, right? But other than that, no one should be able to contact me. I don't want to talk to anyone. I have things to do. You can write down all these ideas in your notebook of what you can do to make that bad habits invisible to you. For example, wasting your time. For example, deleting social media, for example. But you can also ask ChatGPT, hey, listen, chat, I have this bad habit. Can you tell me what I can do to make it invisible? And then follow it. And then step number 2 for this principle is you make a bad habit difficult to do. And so you add friction. So basically, you're just putting a YouTube account with blockers. So for example, my YouTube accounts, they don't have thumbnails. I have a blocker called Undistracted. You can search it on Google and get it on the Chrome app. Literally, you don't see anything. No thumbnails, nothing. And what you can even do is things like putting one channel, like one YouTube account where you subscribe to these small number of channels that you watch every day for educational purposes. For example, let's say I have AMAU, right? So I have a channel for seeking knowledge, not a channel, like an account, and I literally just have AMAU, this, with that business creator, that business creator. So I have one account for seeking knowledge, one account for watching podcasts, etc., in the gym, right? So you do all this work so that it's hard to do the rest of the habit, right? And you can put your phone in a vault. That's something that makes it hard, right? So by vault, I mean, you just put it in a bag and you put it in a corner of a room, or you put it in the top of the drawer or something. You get it away from your eyes, or you make it hard because you have to go and open the vault. You could do things like unplugging your TV or your game console. You can do things like I just did, which is let my gaming laptop be dead. So like I just unplugged it so that it's extra friction to plug the TV, plug the console, plug the computer to charge it, so then I can play. It's so much easier for me to just not do it, right? So that's what you can do. So anything you can do that you think about and you write down to your bad habits that can make it hard, that adds friction, you write it down. Or you can ask ChatGPT, again, I have this habit, tell me how to make it harder to do. Tell me how to add friction to it. That's exactly what we need to do. And plus, when it comes to sins, this is the third thing. When it comes to sins, again, I could give you an entire analogy on sins and how to fight it, but the easiest way you could do to actually fight these sins, because this is a part of making it difficult, and these bad habits, is just learning how to get rid of them strategically and practically, which you can check out in the ebook in the description. Now, principle number 4, make it visible and make it easy. This is the opposite of the last principle. It's also from Atomic Habits. So the first step of making things visible and easy is to make it visible. So you want to make good habits easy, right? No, not easy. You want to make them triggered, right? You should be able to see it. So, for example, I have my books on display. I have like my shelf. So now the books are on display. It looks very pretty. I'm more inclined to read. I know it doesn't seem like it, but because I can see it, I do it. That's why I put my schedule literally next to my bed, because the moment I wake up, I see it. I know what to do. The habit is triggered. And you could do things like putting the Quran on display, for example. Make things visibly triggering when you want to do it. Good habits, right? Even my workstation is right in front of my room. It's already done. It's already clean. All I have to do is sit down, turn on computer, boom, start, right? Very easy, very triggering. And you can also, again, use ChatGPT for help. Write down anything you can do to make your good habits or work or worship easy. Even something like, make it visible. Point number 2 is you got to make things easy. So you got to make the good thing super easy to do. And this should happen if you do the first 2 things. If you already did the making it invisible, making it visible, right? The good habits visible, the invisible bad habits, making it hard to do the bad habits, it should already be easier to do this, right? But you can make even more easy, right? And so if you do things like taking your workout clothes, pre-packing it in your room or in your bag so that you don't even have to think about putting on your workout clothes, you already know, just go, no difficulty. Placing a book you want to read on your bed, right? This is what you can do to make it easier for you to read at nighttime, for example. Or things like cleaning up your work area so it's nicer to work, or even cleaning up your actual desktop area, or making shortcuts that are easy for you to click to do the things that's possible. So for example, I actually should put Google Docs so that I can immediately just reduce the friction to start scripting, or like even OBS. I just type OBS, boom, it's on, right? To record. And so anything that will make things easier, right? Things like putting alarms for Fajr. That makes waking up for Fajr much easier, because it just goes, wee, and then I wake up, right? And then you could do the same. You could even go crazy. I even think I'm going to do it like alarms for every single part of the day. It should be going. It's 11:01 right now. I'm almost done. But this is what we should be doing. Every single moment you have a thing in your schedule, like alarm, right? That's just making it easier. Things like pre-made healthy meals. Anything you can do to make good habits of work for dunya and worship for akhirah easy, you do that. And you even ask ChatGPT, hey chat, I want to make this easy. Please help me out, right? Very easy, you could do that, right? And that is everything you need for the winter arc. We understand why we need it, what's the benefit, what we should think about. We should really think about not making mistakes. Use this time to literally go ghost and just try your best to stay with as little people as possible. Try your best to just do every single day. No rest days, none of that. This is an extreme time for 90 days. And if you fail, you fail. That's fine. Get up, try again tomorrow. Don't let shaitan make you fail before you try. And really try. And do these 4 principles in your life. I'm telling you, if you do it for the next 90 days and you truly take this seriously, I'm going to be on this even though it's summer for me. I'm going to be on the winter arc in summer. You're going to be on the winter arc, and we'll see in 90 days who made the truest progress. I'm really going to try for this because right now, October 1st, we have 90 days left in the year. By 2026, bi'idhnillah, we can already achieve the goals that we wanted in 2026. If we truly take it seriously, I'm dead serious. But before you leave, you've gotten to the end of the video. That means that you're a serious brother who values their self-development according to Islamic principles. If you're the type of brother who wants to build masajid in the future, the type of brother who wants to make an impact in this ummah, you're the type of brother who you want to finally apply this stuff so you can succeed in deen and dunya, then the best way you can actually do that and apply that is accountability. It's being a part of brothers who are just like you. And so you should join the Masculine Muslim Network so that you can join brothers like you who are on the same journey as you, who are going to keep each other accountable and who are going to help each other get to that point. So bi'idhnillah, in 10 years, I'm aiming for this to be something that, we build mosques together. We are doing maybe even business together, whatever it is, or even like helping each other out all the time. We need that brotherly love like Sahaba had so that we can unite together and we can do khair for this ummah bi'idhnillah. And if you're one of those guys who are, I'm only wanting serious guys who are going to qualify themselves by just getting to the CTA, then you could click below and join the Masculine Muslim Network. This network bi'idhnillah is going to be bi'idhnillah one of the biggest in the Muslim world in the next 10 years. Because we want all the righteous and pious and Muslims who want to be prosperous and rich in this dunya and in the akhirah to join together to make those connections with those who are Muslims. So if you're excited for that, you want to apply this stuff, you want to actually take your winter arc seriously, you can check down below, join the Masculine Muslim Network for that accountability, to be around brothers just like you on this grind as well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.